Hey everybody, I'm Rob, but that's not the point. The point of this video is about mobile photography. No, it's not. Hopefully that's okay, not too much groinage. G'day, I'm Rob, but that's not the point. The point of this video is, I've got a phone, should I buy a camera? The answer is no. Because if you're asking that question, you're not ready to buy a camera because you haven't gone through the process of, I think, what's necessary to justify the purchase of a camera. That's my opinion. Let's get right into the news. You might be wondering where the hell I am. I'm currently in America and I'm in Yosemite National Park, but I'm very close to Yosemite Valley, about 2 hours away, I think, by drive. I've been promising myself that I would make videos like this for about a year, maybe 2 years, and so now's the time. I'm not allowed to leave this car park and go to Half Dome unless I make this video, so enjoy that. You're probably thinking, stop talking, just where's my legs? Man, this video stuff's hard. Like a model, Instagram model. Oh man, this is difficult. Legs, and don't put your legs to the camera. What are you looking at? No, I'm not changing angles. Anyway, so now I'm actually 2.5, 3 years into being a freelance photographer. I have a bag full of gear. I started out on a phone and moved into buying a camera, and so that's kind of the context of this conversation. I know what it's like on both. I was lucky enough to join Instagram and start taking photos on my phone before I became super popular, and I did everything on my phone. So I think I went up to around 6,000 followers just on mobile photography before I made the decision to buy a camera. Hence this video. I see a phone as a 12 megapixel, 24, 26 mil lens camera. Got limitations, but essentially it is a camera, and that's the way I look at it. I don't think of it as a phone. I think of it as a small camera, certain resolution with a certain width lens, and then a certain sets of features on top of that. That's how I look at it. I remember when I first bought my camera and I took it home and I opened the box. I took a photo on sort of a 24 mil lens and I looked at it and I went, oh, what have I done? Have I just wasted a couple $1,000s for nothing? When I bought a camera, I had 5 things that I wanted to do that my phone couldn't. Since then, phones have become way more advanced, and a lot of things that I can do on a bigger camera you can simulate in a phone, but there are 5 very specific things. I also wanted to go down the path of a career as a photographer, and again, there are certain things that you need to have to do that career. You can definitely be a photographer with a phone. For me, it's about the compositional freedom. Hey, the birdie. It's about what I can create, and so I take all the cameras with me. A GoPro, I take a mobile phone, I've got a bunch of different tripods and mounts and filters, I've got a drone. If the device won't create the content that I need or the composition that I need, then I buy the equipment that does that job. I think that is really the summary of all decisions when it comes to purchasing cameras or what you should and shouldn't get. It's like, can the thing that I want to create be done with what I have? And you really have to understand and learn about photography and creating to understand whether you actually can or can't do that with the device you have. There are a lot of things you can do with your phone or with a GoPro that you can't do with a bigger camera. That's you. If you don't know whether you should buy a camera or not, don't waste the money because you'll get buyer's remorse. Let's talk about the process of actually getting towards buying a camera and what are things you could potentially think about. So to summarize, that's all about composition and what you can create, not necessarily the quality. I don't like hearing people say like, oh, if I want to shoot a billboard or I want to blow up a print or something like that. Sure, valid conversations, but it's nothing to do with why I bought a camera. It was a significant investment. Not only in the money, the dollars, but also like carrying around extra stuff and lenses and processing on the laptop, etc. I'm not going to talk about pros and cons of phone versus camera, but here are the 5 reasons that I end up buying a camera when I did. If you're not sure what these 5 things are, maybe I'll make videos on it if people ask me. If you don't know what they are, then it's probably another example of why you're not ready to buy a camera yet. One of the major things was the phone that I used to shoot on only did 4 or 5 seconds of exposure. And I wanted to do a longer exposure, 30 seconds or bulb, like long as I want. You can simulate that sort of thing for smoky, smooth water, etc. I even had an ND filter on my phone, so I pushed that to its limits. Compression, so using zoom lenses to compress. Now, a lot of phones these days have 2 times zoom, which you can use for compression, but the perspective shift due to compression with either using high resolution and cropping in or using a lens to zoom in to get that same effect. I really, really, really wanted to do that, and I couldn't in the past, and I could do a little bit, but it's just not the same, and it was limiting. Number 3, shallow depth of field. Having a wide open aperture on a fast lens, being able to shoot the very shallow depth of field is something that I think looks really, really cool. It looks really professional, and not being able to do that in a phone in the past was one of the reasons. Yes, you can simulate it now. You can go portrait mode and it can blur the background either using 2 lenses or 3D. It's not the same with some of the things you can do, for instance, shooting through trees and all that sort of stuff. Portraits, yeah, okay, I get it. But it's a very, very, very cool effect to have. And being able to do that on a long lens and also being able to do it on a wider lens with an open aperture, something that I very much wanted to do, and I would see photos online that I couldn't create, and that's one of the reasons. That dynamic range, so bringing out the shadows. I used to edit on my phone all the time, used to bring out the shadows all the time. There's limits. If you're shooting RAW on your phone, there's limits of what you can actually bring out of that file. Full frame camera with a, with a decent sensor, you pay for that. And so shooting and bringing out the shadows later, especially doing landscapes, is something that I became dependent on, but also wanted. Being able to shoot without having to bracket shots. And again, if you're not following all of these topics, these words that I'm saying are things you should be Googling and YouTubing and learning about photography, right? So these are basic tools to have in your tool belt. But I'm just bringing them up and I'm saying them rapid fire because if you understand what these things are, you might be ready to buy a camera. I think the last one was the speed lights, like off-camera flash. I was learning a lot about that, and I was using the flash in the phone to fire remote flashes, and it's way more complicated than it needs to be. So speed lights for doing, like, I guess, light painting or creative photography purposes, but also the long exposure ties into that too, because there's light painting that I wanted to do. Ow, jeez. Oh, do you reckon that anyone's even going to watch this video? So, in summary, just be patient. So, in summary, the device that you use isn't that important unless it can't do what you need. Sometimes having something small and compact and water resistant, both of these can be useful. Sometimes having something that's dangerous and expendable, like this guy, if he gets lost, it's a significant dollar problem, but it's not as expensive as losing that guy. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? In summary, the device you have doesn't limit your creativity, and I think that if you're not sure, not 100%, you haven't got a list of 5 things that you have in your head, at least 5 things to justify buying a new camera or a new device, then you're probably going to regret buying it or not hit the ground running when learning it. See, by having a list of 5 things before you buy a new camera, especially if you're moving away from mobile photography, is that when you get it, you'll go out and you'll have 5, 10 things that you want to shoot, and you'll go out and create them and you'll be super happy and super excited. What I meant to say here was practice the fundamentals of photography on the device you have. When I first was thinking about buying a camera, I borrowed one off my brother. He just had it sitting on his shelf. So I suggest that you do that if you're thinking about it. Borrow one from someone and try and use it. And if you hate carrying it around, or it's too much, or you don't use it to its full potential, then yeah, stick to the phone, because there is so much you can do with the phone, and maybe I'll make a video about that. Buying a camera was a big decision, and sometimes when I'm carrying around all this stuff, I kind of wish that I had just had my phone still. But I know by bringing this stuff and everything in this bag, which again is another video idea, if you want me to do a video about my bag, let me know. Everything in there serves a purpose, it's functional. Otherwise, why would I carry it with me? But it's not because of quality, it's about things that I can create with it. Hopefully that gives you a different approach to thinking about whether you should buy a camera. That's my 2 cents on it. I guess that's it. My name is Rob, but that wasn't the point. Hopefully it helped. Catch you later. Hang on, I forgot something. You still, right? Cool, you're still here. I did forget something really important. If you like this video, please leave a comment, like the video, subscribe if you want more videos. If you've got suggestions for things that I should do or talk about, please leave them in the comments below. Hopefully this video helps someone. Oh, half dome. Hell yeah.